Hi there! Today we're talking all about Book Creator. There are some recent updates we're excited to show you. Let's start off with the basics. How can teachers get started? Here at CCSD 21, we have a subscription to Book Creator. Simply sign up with your district Google account to join. Make sure you're signing up as a teacher and not as a student. Now that we're in, we'll create a library so our students can join. You may want to consider turning these settings on or off depending on your needs. Personally, I would turn this one off until students are done with their books, otherwise they tend to get distracted reading each other's. Great, now that we have a library, we'll add students. How can students get started? Click here to manage who's part of your library. I'd suggest copying the join link and putting it in Google Classroom so your students can quickly click the link and join the library automatically. Or if you'd prefer, you can have students go to bookcreator.com, sign in with Google, and enter your code. If they're part of an old teacher's library, they can simply click here to join a new one. It's important that students create books in your library and not the old teacher's, otherwise you won't be able to see what they made. If this does happen, no big deal. Just have them click here to move it. Once students are part of your library, there are a few ways they can get started creating books. The first way is best for younger students. Create a template for them to start with. On your teacher account, you'll either create a book from scratch or use one from the Book Creator Discover page. You can use these filters to sort. You will click here to assign it to some or all of your students. It's great because students can just click the pencil and get started editing. Before sharing your template with students, you may want to lock elements like this so they can't be moved or deleted by accident. Make sure students are clicking here and not here when they want to edit. This button allows them to read the book, and they'll have to go back and click the pencil to see the editing features. Alternatively, if you create a template, students can make their own copy like this. If you want students to work in groups, you can choose to have them collaborate like this. If your students are more independent, they can probably handle creating a book from scratch. For students to create a new blank book, they can click here. These books are completely plain, and these are a comic layout. The main difference is that plain books give you more flexibility to edit, and comics contain all your images into frames, so they look like a comic book panel. Students could also choose from these templates. There are lots of options. For the sake of this example, we'll choose a blank book to make it easy. This plus sign allows us to add content, and the eye allows us to change how it looks. Right now, nothing is selected, so when I click the eye, I'm given the option to change the background. Tell students to be sure they're using high contrast. If you're using a light background, choose dark words. And if you're using a dark background, choose light words. Otherwise, students will sometimes choose backgrounds and text that are almost the same color, making it really hard to read. Let's add some text. Students will click the plus and the text option. They could start typing, or you can have them copy and paste their work from another document. If these are K through 2 students, I'd suggest having them use the speech-to-text option to help them get started. Simply click here and speak really close to your Chromebook. Hello everyone. Make sure students know to click stop when they're done, or else it will keep typing and typing and typing. Students may have to tweak the spelling and punctuation a bit, but otherwise it's a great way to speed up the writing process. Click here to save the words. Students can adjust how the words look by clicking the words so they will have a blue outline, and click the eye. Here they can adjust the font size, color, style, and more. To adjust the text box, simply move the blue circles like this. They can also delete the words here. Remind students that undo is always an option if they make a mistake. Students tend to accidentally rotate text boxes by clicking the green circle. If that happens, just rotate it back or click undo. Now let's add some pictures. We'll try doing an image search first. Click the plus and choose images. Again, we can either type or use text-to-speech. Click the image and click add. That looks great, but it's way too big. I will click the image and use the blue circles to make it smaller. I can click in the middle of the picture to move it around. If I want to remove the background, I can use a 2-finger click on my trackpad and remove the background. Adding images from the web is the fastest way for students to add pictures. I'd highly suggest having students add all their words to the pages first and add the pictures and decorations later, just to make sure the story is complete first. To add a new page, we will click the arrow. These arrows let us go forwards and backwards in our book. You can click pages to get an overview of all the pages at once. To add drawings, we will click the plus and the pen tool. I would just stick with this first marker. The auto draw tool is fun because it will guess what you want it to draw, but younger students may find it confusing to use. You can control the thickness here too. Click the rainbow circle to choose a different color, or use the eyedropper to pick a specific color. As you're drawing, it's important to close your shapes instead of leaving them open like this. That's because if we use the fill tool, the color will fill correctly for closed shapes, but it will flood the entire page if there's a gap. No worries if this happens, just click undo. You can also use the eraser tool and add emojis here. It's important to click done to save our drawing. If you have several drawings, you can use a 2-finger click to reorder them. You can click a drawing and use backspace on your keyboard to delete it. You can also continue to edit a drawing by clicking the pencil. Now let's add ourselves to the book. We will click the plus and camera. This option allows you to take a picture, and this one allows you to record a video. Wait for the countdown to stop before you start recording. Hello, welcome to class. You can preview the video and start over if you make a mistake. Otherwise, we'll save it. Videos are cool because you can add translated captions. Once our video is saved, we'll click the eye and add captions. We need to add English captions first. You can tweak them like this. Now that we have English captions, we'll go back and add a translation. Choose the language and translate. Now we can click the 3 dots and ensure this is our default language. When someone plays a video, they'll see captions in the default language. Hello, welcome to class. If we want just an audio recording instead, there's an option to add that in. Wait for the countdown to stop, and then record your voice.
Hi, how are you?
Just like the video, we can preview what we said and either start over or save it if we got it right on the first try. We can completely dub over the audio in another language by clicking the audio and clicking translate. We'll first create an English transcript like this. Make sure everything looks correct, then choose a language. Next, you'll pick a voice and translate. I'd suggest
Hola,
making the
¿cómo
translated
estás?
audio a different color to make it easier to tell the difference between the two. And you could even label them like this. Hi, how are you?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
As a teacher, once you're comfortable with the basics, you could even explore using media and apps with your students. Just be mindful of the age restrictions. It's great because when students are in the middle of their books, there's no need to save. As long as they click Done while they're working on a drawing, they can just close the Book Creator tab and come back to it the next day. When they're done, students can return back to the library, and you can turn on the option for them to read each other's books. Students may want to name their books so they don't all have the same generic title. At the time I'm recording this video, there is a class view feature that allows you to see a high-level overview of the whole class's work. As a teacher, you can share individual books and the whole library with parents. Check with your school secretary to make sure students have publishing permissions granted in PowerSchool before doing this step. To share an individual student's book, you will publish to the web and make it private, so anyone with the link can view the book. To share a whole library, you will go to Settings, choose to publish the library online, and choose a title and theme. Only people with the link can view the library. Confirm and publish online. When it's published online, this is what it looks like, and people can click the books to read them. This is the link you'd share with parents. If you're having parent-teacher conferences or an open house, you may want to consider printing the books. To do this, click here and print. Make sure you have color turned on and print on both sides if you want it to flip like a real book. When the library isn't in use, we suggest turning off students' ability to add new books or archive the whole library at the end of the school year. This is because students will often make their own books and turn them into chat rooms if they're unsupervised. If you ever want templates that align with CCSD 21 curriculum, you can check out our district libraries at the bottom of your dashboard. Please place a ticket in IIQ if you're interested in uploading your own templates to these libraries. You can make copies of these templates by clicking Copy Book. You can also place a ticket if you'd like a live demonstration or support with creating projects with your students. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more tutorials.